Amidst the vastness of the Earth, there are enigmatic, remote, and fascinating places that remain out of public reach, whether for reasons of security, environmental preservation, or government secrets. These unexplored regions awaken the curiosity and imagination of people around the world. In this intriguing video, we will discover some of these hidden destinations and unravel the mysteries that surround them, delving into narratives that defy our conventional knowledge. Come with us and explore the inexplicable, entering forbidden territories that awaken our thirst for discovery and adventure. And subscribe to the channel, leave your like and activate notifications. Snake Island. At first glance, the island of Queimada Grande or Snake Island looks like any other island. However, this island is full of thousands of venomous snakes, as it is inhabited mainly by the Jararaca ilhoa, an endemic species that only lives on this island, whose venom is highly toxic and a single bite can cause the death of a human being within a few hours. Researchers estimate that there is a population of 2,000 to 4,000 snakes on the island, which makes the island of Queimada Grande the second place with the highest concentration of snakes in the world, second only to Xidao Island in China, which houses around 20,000 of these animals. According to science, the explanation for these snakes being on the island begins more than 10,000 years ago, when sea levels rose due to melting glaciers and isolated the island. The island of Queimada Grande has a territory of about 43 hectares, is located about 35 kilometers from the coast of Sao Paulo in Brazil. The first historical record of the island dates from 1532, the result of the colonizing expedition sent to Brazil commanded by the Portuguese military Martim Afonso de Souza. Luckily for us, access to the island is not allowed, and only researchers and environmental professionals can visit it through prior authorization. But despite the risks, the island is the target of pirates and animal traffickers who invade the space to capture the species and sell it on the clandestine market. North Sentinel Island. The North Sentinel Island is located in the Indian Ocean, in the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago, which is part of Indian territory, and is notorious for being inhabited by an isolated indigenous group known as the Sentinelese. These indigenous people have been one of the most isolated and inaccessible peoples in the modern world, keeping away from civilization and resisting any outside contact. Attempts at contact with the Sentinelese are extremely rare, and have mostly resulted in hostile confrontations, as the Sentinelese often fire arrows at anyone who tries to make contact. In 2006, 2 fishermen accidentally entered the island and were killed by the Sentinelese, and in 2018, an American missionary named John Chow was also killed after attempting to make contact with the Sentinelese. Due to the hostility and aggressiveness shown by the Sentinelese towards outsiders, the Indian government has established a policy of non-intervention on the island and prohibits approaching within 5 nautical miles, about 9 kilometers from the island's coast. This prohibition also serves to protect both the indigenous people and those who might try to make contact, as any contact with outsiders could pose a serious risk of diseases unknown to them. The exact population of the Sentinelese is not known, and estimates range from less than 40 to an average of around 250, and up to a maximum of 500. Vatican Apostolic Archives. Located within the walls of Vatican City, the Vatican Apostolic Archives, also known as the Vatican Secret Archives, is the official repository of the historical documents of the Holy See, the seat of the Roman Catholic Church. The archive dates back to the 4th century, but was formally established as an institution in 1612 by Pope Paul V, and its primary function is to preserve, organize, and make available the papal and Roman Curia documents that are considered to be of historical and administrative value. The archive contains a vast collection of letters, decrees, bulls, baptismal records, correspondence, treaties, diaries, and other important records, some of which date back over 1,000 years, and documents covering a wide variety of topics, such as church history, diplomacy, international relations, theology, liturgy, genealogy, and matters related to the administration of the Catholic Church. It is estimated that the Vatican Apostolic Archives contains 35,000 volumes in the selective catalog alone and about 85 kilometers of shelving to house all these documents, and access to the Vatican Apostolic Archives is strictly controlled and generally limited to scholars, researchers, and academics who request permission to consult the documents. Svalbard Global Seed Vault. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault is a massive seed bank located near Longyearbyen, in the Svalbard archipelago in Norway. Inaugurated in 2008, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault was funded by the Norwegian government, cost nearly $9 million to construct, and was built to preserve samples of plant seeds from around the world, thus ensuring the conservation of genetic diversity of agricultural crops in case of natural disasters, wars, or other events that can lead to loss of biodiversity. The construction site was chosen due to its remote location, cold climate, and permafrost, which helps to ensure the preservation of seeds in sub-zero temperatures. In addition, this vault was built inside a mountain, which provides an additional layer of protection against external threats such as earthquakes and extreme weather events. This site has the capacity to store more than 4 million seed varieties, which is equivalent to more than 2 billion seeds, and currently houses more than 1 million seed samples from almost every country in the world. Each sample is stored in vacuum-sealed packages and kept at temperatures of -18 degrees Celsius to ensure its long-term viability. Due to its sensitive nature and the importance of its seed preservation mission, access to this site is strictly restricted to a select group of authorized individuals, and visits are generally limited to scientists, researchers, government officials, representatives of international organizations involved in biodiversity conservation and food security, and employees directly involved in activities related to the management and maintenance of the facilities. Mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang. Discovered by chance in 1974 by a group of farmers who were digging a well to find water, the Mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang is one of the most impressive archaeological findings in the history of humanity, as it is the tomb of the legendary Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who was the first emperor of unified China and ruled between 221 and 210 before Christ. Constructed during the reign of Qin Shi Huang, the mausoleum is a monumental structure that reflects the grandeur and wealth of the emperor. It is believed that construction began around 246 before Christ, when Qin Shi Huang was still a young prince, and continued throughout his life and after his death. The Mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang is famous for its royal guard of terracotta warriors, and it is estimated that there are over 8,000 life-sized figures of warriors and horses, each with individual details and weapons, placed there to protect the emperor on his journey after death. Besides the terracotta warriors, the mausoleum is also surrounded by a complex system of tunnels and burial chambers that contain various relics and treasures of the emperor. However, so far, archaeologists have not entered the main tomb, fearing possible damage to precious artifacts and also due to the lack of adequate technologies to explore it without causing harm. The mausoleum tomb of Qin Shi Huang is located near Xi'an, in the province of Shaanxi in China. It is currently a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and to respect the site, the Chinese government has prohibited any excavation of the tomb of Qin Shi Huang. Therefore, this is one of the most forbidden places in the world. Surtsey Island. Formed by a series of submarine volcanic eruptions that occurred about 130 meters below the sea surface between 1963 and 1967, the Surtsey Island is a small volcanic island located off the southern coast of Iceland. During the course of the eruptions, the island grew rapidly, reaching an area of over 2 square kilometers and a height of 174 meters above sea level, and due to its recent formation and geographic isolation, the Surtsey Island has been widely studied by scientists as a natural laboratory for observing colonization and ecological succession. Vegetation began to settle on the island shortly after the eruption, with the arrival of seeds brought by birds and sea currents. Mosses and lichens were the first colonizers, followed by herbaceous plants and small shrubs. Animal colonization also took place gradually, with seals settling on the island, as well as birds such as seagulls, fulmars, and puffins. Insects and spiders also colonized the island, likely arriving through drifting debris or on their own. Due to its scientific importance, the Surtsey Island was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2008. It is strictly protected and public access is limited to avoid interference with its developing ecosystem.